Hi, so this project is about EDGAR XBRL filings. So let's begin with finding what XBRL filings actually are. So let's go to SEC website where we have EDGAR filings, XBRL filings, and we can search the filings either by CIKs or by company tickers. For example, let's check for Marriott. The ticker for Marriott is MAR, so let's find it out. Here are all the filings that Marriott has its association with. So let's go for 10Q. Let's open the top and then drop the data. On the top, here is the txt file, which has all the everything in XBRL format. Let's open it. So this is the file that we will be working on. But on the other side, we will have this again as the interactive data. So let's see what all we have here. We have financial statements, which is the income statement. We have balance sheet. We have cash flow and notes to financial statements, accounting policies, notes, and all these things. So here we can see whatever we have are about the fundamentals. We do not have any other data like PRASM for airlines or RevPAR for hotels or any other that kind of KPIs. We'll have to limit our scope to the financial statements only. So let's check. We have this uh, income statement. So say the revenue is 4681. I'll tell you how we work on this. So this figure is stated here as well. So let's find it. It was 4681. So this is what it is. These are in XML tags. So the tag is US GAAP revenue, as you can see. There are few attributes associated. Context ref FT2020Q1 YTD decimals, some ID, some unit reference, USD, and this is the value. Alright, so let's see if this is what we're looking for, if this suffices. So yes, in all these things we see there is another tag. This is product or service access, Marriott fee service member, and the value is 881000. So yes, it's fee revenue. Revenue is 881. This was the figure that we found there. And as this is fee service member, and hence this is the fee revenue under US GAAP revenue. So all these figures can be identified by context ref. So this particular attribute has many details of it. For example, this says product or service access is one detail of it, one detail of the attribute, say access, and the another detail is the member, fee service member. So these are two particular sub attributes which would tell us what kind of value it is. But all of this is subject to the standard followed by that company. Many a time it so happens that company does not follow any standard and we get multiple values for the same tag and we're not able to differentiate between them. Some of these example is Alphabet Inc., which is the Google. So let's look at it. So this is Google's filings. Let's open the txt. Let's go here. So here are the financial statements. Let's look at the income statement. So the revenue is 41159. Let's find it out. So yes, this is the tag US GAAP revenue from contract with customer excluding assess tax. This is the tag. Let's find out if this is the tag that we can go with. So here itself we have two matches, and in these two matches we have once we have 36339 where I'm hovering my cursor, and again we have 41159 the second. Between these two we do not have any access, or remember this is a random string which has a period as its suffix, but otherwise there is no other segregation, there is no differentiation. So let's find out if there is something else of this kind. And again we have some context ref with a period. There is nothing else that is happening. And then this is a figure 2254, and then again there is some figure of 3025. So we are not able to differentiate between these two periods. And this is the reason that we decided not to include Apple Incorporated here. So now let's talk about how this entire project has been framed or how we are working on it. So to begin, let's talk about the assumptions. The first thing is we are assuming that we have already gone through the XBRL filings and we know which tags or which line items to cover. So this is the first thing that we have. This is the first assumption that we are making. The second assumption is that we can download the XBRL filings through making GET requests to the URL, to the SEC website. There's a bit ethical way as well, but the constraint is that it is limited by the current URL structure. So in future, if there's something that SEC changes over there, we'll have to make changes in our code as well. The third assumption is each of the line items can be uniquely identified by a combination of access, member, and tag. This is the third and the final assumption. Goes that we can identify line items by access, member, and tag. So for this, we have made a metadata file which should serve as basis for entire parsing. So let's visit it. Here is the CSV file. We have put a CSV file, and here is the heading, the first access, tag, and member, and generic name. So tag, access, and member are used for parsing the XBRL file. The last column, generic name, is the general common name of these items, and this would serve as a good tool for us to compare between different companies. So let's talk about all the steps involved in this project. The first thing is we would download files by making GET request to the SEC website. Then we are going to store them as per the filing date. So these would be arranged in subfolders as per the filing date of each of the filings. When we are done with storing the files, we would now parse the tags and make a JSON file. Because these files are have XBRL tags, which are XML tags basically. So it would be easier to make a JSON file as the initial step while parsing. While parsing, we are going to use multiprocessing. So why use multiprocessing? Multiprocessing helps us to make use of the resources at the best. Say the entire CPU could be used or the entire RAM available could be used. If you're not using it, this would delay the process and it would be very slow in comparison. When we are done with multiprocessing, what we are going to do is we are going to parse this JSON into CSV. This would be a fairly easier step. And then when we are done with all of this, we are going to render graphs on the basis of the generic names given by user or the list of tickers given by user. So let's start. Let's check the Marriott folder. Let's see what all files we have here. So we have the metadata file. Let's just check if it contains everything. Yes, it contains tag, access number, related name, and everything. So we are good to go. So let's go to the Jupyter data. So this is our code. And let's start downloading. So it has downloaded the filings. And to begin, I'll just show you how it works without multiprocessing. How much time it takes and how the files are being parsed. Here's the entire output that is going to be written. And parallelly, what we can do is we can just check how the filings have been downloaded. So the filings are in the filings folder, so let's go there. And let's see, say go to 2020 is the year. In Feb we have some filings, and May we have some filings. Let's go to May, and we have the filing on 11th of May. So this is how to store, and this is the filing. So let's see, let's open it. So this is the filing that we have seen. Alright, so it worked well. The files were downloaded and saved as per year, month, and date subfolder. Let's see, it's working, it's still processing. Meanwhile, what we can do is we can just check how the resources are being used. So you can see the CPU usage is around 14, 15, something of that kind. Jupyter notebook, and let's see how this code worked. So this is the paragraph, all the files were downloaded, and everything was worked under just one process. So let's go down the output, and here we will see. So process number 0, filing 10 out of 10, so 10 filings were downloaded and processed, parsed, all under just one process, and the entire time that it took was 19 minutes 16 seconds. This is going to be significantly improved if we employ multiprocessing. So what we are going to do next, we are going to change our code and use multiprocessing. Let's go ahead, let's make the changes. System size, we will make one process for each of the files, and let's see how it goes. So the filings were downloaded. Let's see. And so process number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. Process 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. So 10 processes have been created, each process for each of the files. executed, it's been made use of. Let's go and see how the CPU and RAM usage is there. So let's see. Now you can see the CPU usage is 91%, 94%, something in that range. And we have all the processes here. So multiprocessing is working. And this is going to take lesser time. It's going to be more efficient. To it, the multiprocessing has worked, and let's see. Goes. So hold time was 8 minutes, and earlier it was 19. So this is almost 2.5x jump in the time. Done. Just let's check what all files have been written. Let's go to the Marriott folder. So we have output folder, just go to that. And then we have parts data as well, JSON time. Let's check what all lies here. And here are all the JSON files that were made after parsing the XML. So going back, let's check what lies in the parse data file. Opening it, here we can see we have parsed access member attacks and tickers, which we'd be using for making the charts. Also we have start date, end date, which would be used for period and everything of that kind. So the files have been written, we are good to go. Let's go back. Jupyter Notebook, when all the files have been written, now let's plot the chart. Here we are taking Marriott, Hyatt and Wyndham, and we are comparing on net income year on year, cash reserves, and earnings per share basic. So here the plot is there. We are using Plotly for this, and as you can see, you can just hover over the chart and we get all the numbers. Hyatt jumped up 54% in June 2017. Now here is the cash comparison, cash reserve. So in March 2018, the cash reserve of Wyndham was 71 million, Hyatt was 1.16 billion, Marriott was 701 million. So this is what cash and cash reserve. EPS is here, so in September 30, 2018, the EPS basic of Marriott was $1.45. And just we can hover over the charts, we get all the numbers. And let's compare something else. Let's make a comparison of passenger revenue and cargo revenue of American Airlines. So this is the chart. And as we go there, we see 261 million was the cargo revenue and 10.6 billion was passenger revenue in June 30, 2018 for AL. And we can see there are some gaps. These gaps come because many a time companies do not report in the same tag, do not follow the same format. So this happens. Let's make this into a horizontal chart. Let's see how it goes. So the chart is rendered. We are putting numbers as percentages. While we hover, we get the absolute numbers as well. So this is again the same kind of data, and we have just transformed it into a horizontal chart. We are also saving these charts in PNG format and the home folder that has been provided. So let's see, which was rendered, and this was EPS basic of Wyndham, Hyatt and Marriott, and this was American Airlines passenger and cargo revenue. So these all charts were rendered and saved so that we can use these charts offline as well.